Hey everyone, I'm Darth Boy, and yes, I am being a bit lazy with my webcam, but you know that's my thing. I occasionally go to my Super 1080p camera or my webcam, but the webcam I really don't have to worry as much about running out of data because this is a 2 terabyte hard drive, so not worried about that. So anyway, this is kind of like a video response to. Oh, sorry, I'm using the Wii mode for this. Yeah. How not to defend a movie, a simple guide. I think this user's name is the Savage Broadcast. If that is his name, then I hope this is some sort of video response. I would encourage you to look at some of my reviews. I'll post a playlist in a YouTube comment. And if you have the time, I would like you to check out some of my videos to see if I fall into some of the categories that you talked about, because as a new reviewer myself, as a guy who just really does it as a hobby, I really try my best. I really try my best to be as in-depth as I can. Sometimes I'm a little bit mixed on a film because of my nostalgia. However, I will address its flaws. For example, Star Wars Episode 2. I talked a lot about some of the things I felt worked and didn't work in that movie. It wasn't me just ripping Episode 2 a new asshole, you know, or Episode 3 a new asshole. I'll admit I've ripped movies a new asshole a bunch of times, like The Great Gatsby. I ripped that a new asshole because I didn't like Baz Luhrmann's directing. I thought it was overhyper, and I felt something like The Great Gatsby should have been done at a slightly slower pace with scenes that were meant to breathe a little longer. If I remember correctly, some of the scenes were like boom, like that, like maybe 5 seconds max, 2 or 3 seconds, like in the middle of a conversation, the guy's walking. Whereas I felt in certain films, a good wide shot or a good long take can really make something work with a character. Like we're watching a movie called Tootski. It's a movie directed by Gavin Hood. It won Best Foreign Film of 2005. I'm sorry I can't remember the name. The name will be somewhere there. Yeah. So, a movie like that, while it's not trying to be like The Great Gatsby, like this lush, over-the-top, movie, I think to do a character study, or to try to do a character study, you should have a good pace, a slower pace, that really dives into a character's psyche, that expresses it through visuals. Now, a film like this film I'm watching in literature film class, Tootski, did that pretty well, I think, with showing us after he beats up this guy named Boston out of anger to hide his own pain, his own torment. Which is interesting. I mean, yes, the guy is really being an asshole. And there's no way in hell that any teenager in my school could relate to this guy, because this guy is in a very impoverished, has no parents, South Africa society. And from what I'm watching, I feel Gavin Hood is a pretty good director. I'll have to rewatch X-Men Origins Wolverine. I liked the film when I was 13, but I was 13 at the time. Oh yeah. This is something I like to call the in-camera webcam cut, where I try to briefly explain what the fuck I'm trying to talk about. Okay, so what I'm talking about by the first 2 Raimi films, I mean the first 2 Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Another point I wanted to try and bring up. My friend and I, when we were I was arguing my points for the first 2 Raimi films, and I was explaining how he was saying that the Tobey Maguire films didn't show Peter being awkward, and he was saying that Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was more of the awkward Peter Parker, and I was like, the hell are you talking about? Now, in my argument to him, I was trying to explain that if you really look at the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, he was making the first 2 anyway as a fan of the 60s comic book. You can really tell in the way the Peter Parker of this Spider-Man is portrayed. As a teenager is a little bit more awkward. Now, I really should probably capture one of our arguments on YouTube, Because we have some good arguments. Me and my friends have a lot of good in-depth arguments, or I try to have some good in-depth arguments. And, yeah, I just wanted to say, sorry this went on too long. I just wanted to say if you found some of my videos to fall under some of your categories, then please explain, because I want to try to be a good reviewer and a good critic, because I love the movies. The movies are my passion. I love analyzing cinema. I love discussing cinema. And I want to do that, and I want to do a good job at that. Live long and prosper, and have a great day.